Good morning, team. From today onwards, we will start the Cloud Basic Terms Part 1. Very important session for those who wants to bring their career in cloud. So it starts with the basics one because in today's sessions we had covered from zero. Like these are the questions you can see. What does the cloud means? Does cloud really exist physically, or where are cloud hosted, or where are data centers in cloud? Third question is the scenario based questions. If I sent one web request to cloud, how cloud can accept and send response back? What is CSP? What are edge locations? Very important. What are regions? What are AZ in cloud? And what are VMs? So these are the basics one. Let's go for the answers. What does cloud mean? So cloud means using computers, storages, and softwares over the internet instead of keeping them on your own devices or in your office. Till time, we generally use the on-prem data centers where all servers, network devices, and appliances are the physical one. But in cloud, you didn't need to take care about all the physical assets. Cloud is managing their physical data center, only you need to take the service. So cloud means computers on the internet. Online storage is called the cloud. Why it is called the cloud, guys? Because in network diagram the internet is generally showing as a cloud symbol. That may be the reason that it is called as the cloud. You don't need to know where server are located. Okay, you just use the services. These are the reasons. We can understand better with a real life example. Without cloud, for photos is stored only on your phones. But if your phone lost, then your photos are lost. But if you are using the cloud, and in this case photos is stored online, you can access mobile laptops from anywhere. So that online is storage is called the cloud ones. Next question is what actually exist in the cloud. So cloud is not air, not the sky. It is a combination of the big computers. It is a combination of the storage. It is combination of the multiple data centers and a combination of the internet connections. All these are managed by the cloud companies. This part. Examples are you already use cloud when you use email, watch online videos, store file online, use banking online. All data is processed and is stored in the cloud. Next question is very important. Does cloud physically exist? Or this question may be asked where cloud hosted or where data center located in the cloud. Yes, cloud exists physically, but this is not a magic, not the air. It runs on a real physical infrastructure managed by the cloud companies, not by the customers. Cloud is a combination of the physical servers. It is a combination of the storage. It is combination of the network devices, and it is combination of the physical buildings. These all are kept inside data centers. And cloud is hosted inside large, highly secure data centers around the world. These data centers are owned and managed by the cloud providers like AWS, Azure, Google, GCP. We can say short as a GCP. And these cloud providers data centers available in multiple areas. For example, India, US, Europe, Asia Pacific, Middle East. So data is usually stored in the regions you choose. Okay, while you create the machine in the cloud, there is an option called as choose region. Okay, so if you choose the region of India, for example, then your all request would be catered from the India data center only. We will discuss later on this part. Going to the question number 3. If I sent one web request to cloud, how the process going on, how they accept and send response. So when a user sent a web request, DNS resolve the address, because when the request because in your computer, right, DNS already configured. So when you hit the request, domain name server resolves the address. The request enters in the cloud network, passes security checks, and routed to a load balancer LB to a application server processed, and the response is sent back to the users through the same path. So this is the workflow. What is CSP? A cloud provider is a company that delivers cloud computing services such as infrastructure, platforms, and security over the internet while managing and underlying physical infrastructures and data centers. Question number 5 is very important. What are edge locations? So edge locations are used for cache purposes. Edge locations are used for the cache purposes. Edge locations exist inside internet provider buildings. For example, Airtel Jio, it consists of physical servers which stores only temporary and non-sensitive data that helps deliver faster content. They do not store full databases or critical data customers. Edge servers stores cache contents like images, videos, logos, banners, and public data. Edge servers do not store the databases because database contains the sensitive data. Uh, Edge servers do not consist user passwords, Aadhaar, PAN, credit card data, customer PII normally, and application source data. So sensitive data always is stored in the main cloud centers. Every request are not going to edge locations. You need to enable by content delivery network CDN at application and the domain level. If you want that your request directly go to the main data center instead of the edge location server, then you need to configure at the application and the domain level. Next question is, what are regions? A region in the cloud means a geographic area locations where a cloud provider has multiple data centers. Regions, cities, locations of the cloud data centers. Example, bank branches. Bank has headquarter in Mumbai, but they have every branches in almost all the cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai. So every branch serves the nearby customers. So if we can relate this with respect to the cloud, so region is just a branch city and data centers are the every buildings. What is inside regions, right? A region contains multiple availability zones, which can be treated as high availability, and each AZ consists of one or more data centers and high speed private network between availability zones. What are the examples? With Amazon Web Services, we have Asia Pacific region, and the region code is App South 1, for example. It contains of multiple availability zones. Next question is, why cloud providers uh, developed regions? Why regions are required? Why cloud provider need to spend much more money on the regions part? So specific reasons are faster response, lower latency, high availability, disaster recovery, and the data residency and compliances part. Next question is, what are AZ? AZ means availability zone, and AZ is a separate physical data center or group of data centers inside the cloud. AZ data centers and regions are the cities, for example. You can relate this with a real life example called multiple post offices there in a city. So here city would be considered as a region in cloud, and post office building could be considered as the availability zones. If one post office is closed, uh, then the users then the users can go to the others. What is inside is that each availability zones has its own power supply, its own cooling, its own network, its own everything. They have their own facilities. They have physical separations from availability zones. So failure in one availability zone does not affect other. Examples: AWS India. Using AWS, we have South Pacific called as App South 1 and AZ 1B, App South 1C. So each availability zone have their different data centers. Why AZ is required? AZ is required to make your data in a high availability mode, fault tolerance, disaster protection, zero downtime design. A website is deployed on server 1 AZ and server 2 to AZ2. If AZ1 fails, then website still runs from the AZ2. This is called the redundancies. That's why these are created. Availability zones are created. Next question is, what are VM? So a virtual machine, VM is called the virtual machine, is a computer created in the cloud that works like a real computer, CPU, RAM, hard disk, OS, but runs on the shared physical hardware in a data centers. VM is also a cloud computer. Examples: we have a building. Building would be treated as a physical server in a cloud, but apartments called as a virtual machines. Each flat is separated and private. What does VM include? Each VM has CPU processing power, RAM, storage disk, operating systems, and network IPs. You can install software just like on your laptop. VM examples in a popular cloud. It is in AWS. It's called as EC2. In Microsoft Azure, it's called Azure Virtual Machine, and in GCP, it's called a computer engine. So these all are VMs. Why do we use the VMs? So VM is used because we do not need to purchase the hardware every time. It's very simple to create and we can scale up and down easily. What is scale? We will discuss in next class. And the main thing is, whatever you are using, only for that purpose you need to pay. And obviously high availability zones. So these are the first session of the basics part of CSP and cloud security. If you also want to learn GRC, then we are covering the ISO 27001. We are covering NIST also, TPRM, PCI DSS, SOX and SOC 2, DPDP, and GDPR. You can email me on rajveersinghAUG@gmail.com, or you can also make your comments. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.